Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Aboagye and I create content on studying abroad. This will be the best time to subscribe and hit the bell button to get notified. This not only helps my channel grows, but it also makes it possible for other people who are looking to study abroad get access to this information I freely give. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for returning. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about this. I got admission but no funding and scholarship. What do I do? So I've gotten a lot of requests in my inbox of people telling me that they've gotten admission to so and so school, but they didn't get funding. What do they do? The first thing I'll tell you is that congratulations. You've actually taken the first step. Most people watch my videos and unfortunately they do not take it into action. Remember, you never get something you never apply for. Always keep on trying. So that's it for that section. Before I tell you what to do, one thing I always advise people is always go for the scholarship instead of admission. What does this mean? Instead of directly applying to the school, look for a scholarship that is attached to a school and apply for that scholarship. What that means is you do have a higher chance of getting a scholarship. You do have a higher chance once you get an admission. Let me give an example. An example is like, I want to study in Europe or I want to study in Germany. DAD is actually a big organization that offers funding for master's and postgraduate studies in Germany. So I go to the DAD portal and I look for the universities where they offer scholarships as well as the program, and I'll apply directly to those universities because with that I know I have a higher chance of getting a scholarship if I get admission. So that's it. Now let's go into deeper about today's topic. So you got admission but no scholarship. What do? The first thing you have to do is to talk to the program's coordinator. Each university has somebody who is in charge of international admission, and send them an email. I know you'll be wondering, what should the email entail? The email should entail that, hello Mr. or Mrs. Hello Mr. so and so, or hello programs coordinator. Normally their names are on the website, so use your name. I've gotten admission to this program for this period, maybe the fall 2023 or winter 2024. Unfortunately, I didn't get funding. What are the funding or scholarship opportunities available for me? Also, are there graduate assistantships? So this is linked to the US or Canada. For North America, they deal with the graduate assistantships. Most schools in Europe don't do that, so I'll talk about that. You could also, in the email, like, you should do your homework prior before. You could reach out to, or you could look at the faculty website and look for professors who are working in your area of interest. What do I mean by that? And this is for research focused program. Normally for thesis focused program, this will not work. So if you applied for a research focused program, then you should do that. So my research interest is in concrete. So I could go to the faculty website of my Department of Civil Engineering, and I'll look for professors who are working in the area of concrete. In my email, I'll be like, so I visited the faculty's website and I realized Dr. Aboagye and Dr. Ej are working in concrete, which is also my research area. Do you think these professors will be willing to take on graduate assistantship? If no, can you suggest other professors who have this and this research interest and you feel they might be taking graduate assistantship, and I could reach out to them to establish a relationship to see if they are willing to take me and give me funding from their research grants? So this is like, in the email there are two things. One, you are asking for any available funding opportunities that's available in the university for you, and also two, you are trying to find out if they do have graduate assistantship, and you've given some name of professors you think you might work well with. Do they think they are willing to take new students? And if they are not, can they give you suggestions of other professors you can reach out? Then when they give you the names, on my channel I have a video about how to contact professors or how to send cold emails. You are going to use that template, but you are going to tweak it a bit, because for that template is for you are reaching out to them before you got admission. So the only thing you change is that you've gotten admission to this program for this session, and you are looking if they are willing to take graduate assistantship, and you are going to tweak it according to their research areas. Always tailor your application. So this is like a 2-in-1 concept: coordinator and a faculty member. So I'm gonna be like the third thing. The third thing you can do is you have to look for external funding. You have to look for money from other organizations who are willing to fund you. So this, I'm going to go to the UK. An example is like the Chevening Scholarship. For the Chevening Scholarship, you need to have gotten admission to a university in UK. So once you have admission, you can apply for the Chevening Scholarship. And this comes back to the first advice I gave: chase a scholarship and not the school. So because you know that you want to apply to the Chevening Scholarship, you will apply to a UK school, and from that admission letter, you will apply to the Chevening to get funding. In Ghana, the Get Fund and the JNPC also offers scholarships for students to study abroad. I know some people will say you need to know somebody, but last 2 years, I know 2 people who knew nobody. One was actually my colleague from school, and when he put in his application, he reached out to me, and that was a Get Fund, and we were talking about it. And he's now in the UK. He's almost done with his master's. Another person reached out to me on Twitter, because when my friend got a call, I posted it on Twitter, and he was like, okay, he's also applied, he hasn't heard. He got called. So always give your shot. Yes, people will say that you need to know somebody, but always give it a try. I know in Nigeria there's like the PTFD or so, PTDF, one of them. They also offer scholarships, because I have friends in France who came to study on that scholarship. So you have to check in your country, you have to check online to see externals, and also like Baker Hughes. I know most oil companies offer scholarships, so you have to look for these ones online to be able to pay your fees or your tuition. So that's it for the external scholarship. And even there's the Mo Ibrahim Foundation Scholarship, and that is for people who want to study governance. So for that field too, you could also look into it. The fourth thing you can do is loans. I normally don't suggest that, really. I always advise you to try and get a scholarship, but there are the option where you can look for loans, and organizations that give out loans to study is, and two of the ones I know is the Prodigy Finance and Empower Loans. They normally give loans to students to go study in the US or Canada. So this is something you can look into. The other option is that you might have to work whilst you are abroad to get part-time jobs to study. I also don't advise people to do that, but that's also another option, because it's really stressful. So sometimes what people do is, once they are done, normally they pay a whole year's tuition fee that they can survive in a year, and during that year while they're in school, they work to save money to do that. Some country system is structured that it might be possible, others it might not be possible. In Canada, I know a lot of friends who do that. Not a lot of friends, but I know like 2 or 3 people who have done that. So they pay the whole year's fees, and during the school year they work very hard to be able to gather money to be able to pay that. I normally don't advise people to do it because it's very, very stressful. Another option is internal scholarship. So you still try to get your proof of funds to be able to travel to the country. In Canada and in the US, there are a lot of internal scholarships that are still available for you whilst you're in school. So you might not have been able to get the funding before you left your home country, but once you are there, there are a lot of scholarships available for you that you can apply for to be able to support your studies. And even in Italy too, there is something called the DSU, the Regional Scholarship. So once you've been admitted and you're in the school, you can apply for these scholarships to support yourself. So this is also something that you will have to weigh and see if it's something you want to do, because you are not sure of the scholarship. Would you get it when you arrive? For me, I would prefer to get a scholarship before I leave my home country. because even without that, there's no way I can leave because I can't show the proof of funds. So this is also another option that you can look out, you can explore. So let's go over what we've talked about. Yeah, I forgot there's one other thing is you could also, I know two people who have done that. So apart from the internal scholarship, is they got admission to, actually both people are in the US, so they got admission to the US, and once they were in school, they started reaching out to the professors in the department. So it's the same code email that I've gotten admission to this program. Are you looking for a graduate assistantship? I'm already here. You could also look for research centers in your university. So these are not like professors. You can look at research centers. So maybe I'm working in concrete, so I look for the concrete research group, and I look at the professors there. I send them an email that I've gotten admission, I'm already here. Are they looking for graduate assistantship? So this is also an option you can explore. Also, apart from the graduate assistantship, there's also something called administrative assistantship in the US. So you could also get a job that you are working, you are doing administrative duties, and you get paid. So that could also be linked to like the part-time job. So now let's sum it up. Let's look at the points we've talked about. Your first thing you have to do is to contact your graduate coordinator to find out the funding opportunities that are available for you in the school. With that too, you could also visit the financial aid and scholarship website of that university to find out the options available for you. The second thing is to find faculty members or professors in your department or even out of your department who have research interests that work with you, or you have certain skills that you think will be useful. So let's say I know Python and I know a professor in mechanical engineering whose work is dominantly on Python. It's all engineering. I could be like, okay, are you looking for a research assistant? I have this knowledge and this knowledge, and I think I can work for you. Are you willing to take on a graduate assistant? So this could be in your department or out of your department. Your third point is to look for external funding. Look for like, do you have the admission? Which organizations are willing to give you scholarships to study where you want to study? The fourth thing would be to travel with at least a year's fees and look for part-time jobs to be able to raise funds for that. Another thing you can do is to explore internal funding once you arrive in that country, and also reach out to professors in that field if they are looking for graduate assistantship once you are in that country. The last thing I forgot to mention is also to explore country-specific scholarships or scholarships from the embassies of countries. An example is like the Taiwan government scholarship. They offer scholarships to people from certain countries to come and study in Taiwan, so you can explore that. There's a Chinese government scholarship. They give a lot of Ghanaians, Nigerians these kind of scholarships. There's a Swiss government scholarship. So these are country-specific scholarships from the embassy. So there's the Hungary scholarship. So you have to look at those ones. You look at the programs, you look at the schools, and you apply for it. And the last unpopular advice would be to consider tuition-free countries or countries that offer programs at a cheap price. Consider France, and their fees is as low as 243 euros. You can consider Italy. Italy, you can pay based on your family income between maybe 400 to 3,000 euros. Consider Germany. It's also tuition free, and I have a lot of content on these countries on my YouTube, because most of the times when I receive these feedback, it's from people who have gotten admissions to countries in the US or Canada where their tuition is really high. So consider these countries, okay? This video was useful. If you have any other suggestions on how people can fund their studies when they get admission, let me know in the comment section. If you haven't yet liked this video, kindly like, comment, and share. Until you hear from me again,